Now, what I'll tell you ahead of time is my experience in general with this unit, not 20-3, is that this is one where some people are like, I can't believe this is math, this is the best unit ever. And some people are like, oh my goodness, I can't believe this is math, I hate everything. Right? There's sort of a mix. We'll see how this goes. Basically, we're going to kind of pretend we're architects, present with designers for a few days, think through different perspectives on ways of seeing things, think through kind of how shapes interact with what we see, and hopefully have a little bit of fun. You guys all have blocks. These are meant just to help you as you're thinking. Now, I picked 13 arbitrarily. It looks like I could have given you guys more. I found in some classes we need to have, I just don't have that many here. So once we're going further when you're in the work, you can probably come get a few more. That'll be fine. But I want to start out with giving a few ideas on kind of how we represent three-dimensional objects in 2 dimensions, and how we take 2-dimensional representations and figure out what the 3-dimensional shape is. And some of you will remember, this unit is quite similar to one unit you do in grading. It's not the same. It goes beyond that quite a bit, but it's quite similar to one grading unit. So some of you will be like, okay, I have done some of this. I'm not crazy pleasant to green. Yes, you probably did do some of this stuff in grade 8, but we'll go a little bit beyond that. And let's start out with a shape like this. So we have this shape, this L, this 3-dimensional shape, but which is really just like one layer of 3 tall by 4 wide rectangles. And all of these cubes kind of are put together here. And we're asked to draw the orthographic view diagram of the shapes below. And all that means is basically draw the front view, the top view, and the side view. And most often you'll get like right side view or something like that. This says front, top, bottom, or side view. I want front, top, and right side is how we're going to do this in general. So what that'll be thinking about is, okay, we need sort of to have, first of all, a front view of this object. Well, all that's saying is, while we're taking a look at this object from the front, and we're just saying in 2 dimensions, what do we see? Well, from the front, we see 1, 2, 3 high, and 4 deep. And if you want to, you can fill that in, kind of show that we're just talking about all this stuff. But the front view is this. Now here's the trick. If you only had that front view, the shape could be this, but it could also be, say, this or something like that. Right? So the front view, all you can tell is, so then you need to think, okay, next, what's the top view or what's the right view? And usually the notation that's used for this is that the top view we will include numbers in. We'll include numbers of basically how high things are. So the top view, let's think of the top. Well, the top in this case is just 1, 2, 3, 4. It's just 4 wide. But what we would usually do for the top view here in terms of listing this is we would basically say 3, 1, 1, right? We would kind of show that there's 3 high here, 1, 1, 1 here. And actually, if you're ever trying to build a 3-dimensional shape from just your orthographic view, so if you're just trying to go from here to here, you're able to do it fully if you have a top view with the numbers. That's often the easiest way to go back, is then you just think, okay, I need 3 high here, 1, 1, 1. Okay, and then let's say we have now right side view. What's the next one I want to do? Right side. So from the right side, this shape just looks like this. And then maybe I should go a little bit, maybe I should go down here first. Sorry, guys. Go like here. That. Why did I put that line in the middle there? Why did I choose to put a line here, but not there? Let's look at that. Yeah?
So like the height, I think.
I'm kind of just trying to show there's a different depth on this one than on these two, right? It's like these two are faced together, but this one's not. Does that sort of make sense? It's not that you would necessarily have to, but that's generally how you do it. It's like when there's a different layer, you put a line in between, even though it's still like a continuous 1, 2, 3. Okay? So it's not that you would like have to do this, but this is like a different level than this. We don't number them on the right side view, but you're still showing this comes out further than these ones. So front, top, and right side. Let's try this next one, this B. Now, you don't have enough cubes to build this. If you want to try build this with someone next to you, feel free to. You will have enough if you do it with a partner near you. Actually, maybe you wouldn't, because you need 36 to build this, so I guess you would need 3 of you to make this. But let's think about, first of all, from what we see. Do you think you can do the front view of this quite easily? Front view, when looking at this? Wouldn't the front view of this basically just be that? Okay, so it's 3 high, 1, 2, 3. Now 2, 4, 5 wide, 2, 4, 5 wide, 3 down, and then I have 1 in, 1 up, 3 over, 1 down, 1 over. So my front view looks something like that. In this case, I'm just going to color it to show it's all kind of connected, all the same level.
And then the other sides are just boxes.
Oh, right. Yeah, good insight, good insight. So if then we're doing top view, so good, Jacob is absolutely right. This is just like a box. It's a 3 by 5 box. 3 by 5 box.
And then the other one is a perfect 3 by 3.
But before we move on, with the top view, we're usually going to say depth also. So in this case, I'm going to label 3, 3, 3. Now this is a little awkward. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 3, 3, 3. And to be honest with you here, I was kind of debating how to do this one, because usually when you're labeling from the top, it's kind of saying like how high they are. This one's a bit awkward because the missing piece is the bottom, and that's where with the top and the front in combination, you can tell what's happening here. If you just had the top, you would probably think, oh, it's 3 high, then like 2 high, 2 high, 2 high, 3 high. You would think it's coming from the bottom. When you look at the front view and the top view, you can see, oh, it's that there's 2, but they're kind of lifted up, they're not below, okay? And now, yes, absolutely, so does right. The right side view is just 1, 2, 3 by 1, 2, 3 square. Cool. And if you want to fill that in. So these are orthographic views, how you do those. On your unit test for this unit and on your final exam, this is one thing you have to do, is basically take a 3D object, give the 3 views out. Okay? So, take a moment, try to do these. Try to do these. See if you can do front, top, and right side. When it says with map plan, all that map plan means is the numbers. Right, so see if you can do this. I've often found too with these, actually building them is sort of a helpful step. You don't have to, but there's no real rush, and I think sometimes building just helps us kind of feel out what's happening here. So feel free to build them. If you would like a couple extra cubes, feel free to grab them. I think the last one requires 2 or 3 more. Let's see. 3, 6, 9, 12. Oh no, 13 is the right number. Okay. Try building these. I built the last shape here for you. Yeah. Not 100%. House, do you have your book? Is there anyone else that doesn't have their book? Okay. No? You have one? Oh, I understand. I'll leave it there. Jay, I have a question just about how we do this with kind of this setup. So why don't I do an example here? Should I do A? What do I do? B? Which one do you want me to do? B? Okay. So first of all, the view from the front. View from the front. Well, this is like basically 3 on the bottom and 2 on the top. But I am going to put a line here and a line here just to show kind of the different levels. That it's like, blocked off sort of thing. Now the top, this is one of the key pieces. This ends up being 2, 2, 1, 1, 1. And do my map plan here. 2, 2, 1, 1, 1. And then the right side view, let's think about the right side view here. Well, it's like stacked up too high. If I'm looking at it kind of from this side. Oh, and then there's this other one layer beside it. And I would put a line here too. You end up with, that's from the right side. I've built C here. So when I'm thinking front view, I'm thinking, okay, looking at it like this. When I'm thinking top view with map plan, I'm basically asking, when I look down on it here, what do I see? Right, so front view, top view, and now right side view is like looking from here. And I find these are helpful because I can actually spatially manipulate it. So, okay, I'm looking from here, I'm looking from here, now I'm looking from here. Cool. Sage, I'm sure that's not calling me up out, but I wouldn't want to be. Thanks. Leave it in your backpack, please, so it's not such a temptation. Or on my desk. Putting pocket is not a good option. And I have been kind of drawing these like step outs in the middle. You don't have to. Goal is in general, show the outline, right? That's the key, is that you have the outline from the front, you have the outline to the right, and you have the map plan to the top. That's what the right side view looks like here, right? So I've done, you can see I have not done A. Kind of between it. But the only thing that your cartoon is like, this is kind of trying to show there's those step outs, but in some ways that's almost okay. Like the goal is really to show the outline. So if you choose not to include those, just to show the full outline from that side, that's perfectly fine. How are we doing on these A, B, and C? Would a few more minutes be good, or can I move on? Okay, I'll just give it a couple more moments here. Then we will go on to this next step. Okay, so I think that's probably sufficient for now. Now this next question is an interesting one because same exact thing, right? We're being asked to do the same thing, except now it's not with a block sheet, right? Now it's just saying, okay, draw this thing with this house, right? Take this house and try to draw the orthographic drawing of this house. So let's think about how we can do this. First one, we're looking at it from the front. All right, well, there's a rectangle. And because we've been given dimensions, we'll put them 9 meters, this is 3 meters. And then we also have this shape, which you can see this is a triangular prism, but from the front you just see a rectangle. And the height of this is interesting. The height of this is interesting. It's 2 meters in terms of slant height, right? If we're thinking about this, the height here is 2 meters. You weren't actually asked to, or you were asked to label the dimensions, but you weren't actually given the height here, which is a bit annoying. But if I think about that triangle, okay, think about that triangle. Let's see, it's 2 meters here. I know that across it is 6 meters. Across it is 6 meters. So that makes this 3 meters. Oh, I didn't notice this. This is actually an impossible triangle. So, sorry, I didn't notice that ahead of time. The hypotenuse is not the longer. So I guess in this case, what we're being asked to do is call this 2 meters, even though the height is actually not the same as the slant height. Maybe it's trying to tell us slant height, and let's pretend that. Now, do you think it would be worth putting anything else at the front drawing here when looking at the front? Is there something else we should be labeling here, maybe? I'm kind of wondering, what about maybe including the door? The door and these windows. And just showing that these windows are 1 by 1, which is the same as this top of the door, and the side is 2 meters. The windows are 1 meter, the door is 1 meter wide, 1 meter high. The door is 1 meter wide, but 2 meters wide, or high. Okay. Now, top view is kind of interesting. Top view, this is just simply a rectangle. And I don't know how you do a map view of something like this. It's not like there's a number of blocks. So all I'm going to try to do is label what I can here. I'm thinking from the top, it's going to be kind of split in half, right? The roof is kind of split into part going this way, part going this way, sloping down. And I know that in total, the width of the roof is 6 meters. 6 meters. And I also know that this is 9 meters, which probably tells us that to scale, my drawing should have been quite a bit fatter. 9 meters, 6 meters. That's all I know. And then from this side, from the side view, the right side view, let's see, it's going to be a rectangle. I should try to do better this time. Maybe I'll try to actually do it sort of more scale-like. So it's a 3 by 6, and then we have this. These are all in meters. Okay. Front, top, right side. Now, I've filled this one in for you, but I thought you could give a try to sketching out this toolbox. Recognize there's bin labels given. This one was cut off in here, so I called it 10 inches, the height here. Try to do that one. Try to sketch out that toolbox. See how that goes for you. You all right? Yes, I did. I think we should do this history. I don't put anything else. I'm just going to do two actually. You guys go. Okay. Now there's going to be another type of drawing that I show you. I do, by the way, recognize the irony of me teaching you about drawings. I've told you before about my extremely impressive history with art. Maybe not so impressive. We're going to talk about a component part drawing. And I don't know if any of you have ever built furniture from IKEA. Or, actually, you'll sometimes see this if you like look at an old paint manual for a car you're working on, something like that. But it's basically trying to show something made up of all its pieces. So it's trying to take something simple like this and showing that, okay, this is made up of, so in this case, like this piece is made up of 1, 2, 3, 4 rectangles and 1, 2 of these squares, right? Like what are the pieces that make it up? So the way that I drew this one out was, oh, it's 4 12 by 36 rectangles and 2 12 by 12 squares. And that's all a component part drawing is trying to do. This is obviously a really simple one, but maybe you've even seen these before where it's like, it's something like this, you get the instructions and it's showing you like 1, this, plus 1, this. If anyone's like pretty into Lego or used to be pretty into Lego, Lego will always show that too, right? It'll show basically like there's all these pieces together, and then it basically walks you through, here's how you take the components and make up the whole. Right? So that's kind of what a component parts drawing is trying to do, is break it into the pieces that make it up to show how it came about. Okay. So this is an example with a fairly simple one. I'll just leave that for a second so you can copy it, and then we'll try another one together.
Hey, good boy.
So let's take a look at this next one. And it does say your turn, but it says your turn, but I kind of want to do this first one. So let's think about this shape. Well, first of all, I guess I could say there's kind of like that tabletop, right? There's that tabletop. Maybe I'll draw it from like a bird's eye. It's not a huge deal, but there's one piece looks something like that, right? And this, there's just one. Okay, and now I see also that there are two shapes. And this I'm intending to have as the front and the back. And you'll notice in what I drew, I tried to make this slightly less wide than this. I think I failed though, so I'm going to shrink this a little bit. It should be slightly slightly narrower than the table itself is. There's two of these, there's a front and back. And also there should be, let's see, two kind of skinnier and more long rectangles. There's two of, right? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shapes so far. And all I've really built is the table so far. And now I need these legs. And the legs, I think I'm going to actually freehand draw these just because the bottom is kind of rounded. I have another tool for drawing a rounded bottom. So they look something like that. Oh, that's a little fatter than I want, actually. Something like that. And there are 4 of those. It looks to me like each of the legs are the same size and shape. I hope so. Otherwise, you end up with a desk. Is it yours, Moon, or yours, Evan, that's really shaky right now? One of those desks up, yeah. Evan's like the one leg is like an inch shorter than the other one, so it's pretty shaky. Hopefully, these are all 4 the same. So all I've tried to show is what are the components. Well, there's this top piece. There's this 1, 2, 3, 4, and then there's 4. And did anyone think when they first looked at this of doing this instead just as the top table all as one? In truth, you probably could, right? Like when I think of how this is made up, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces and then the 4 legs. But some people might say, well, this plus all this stuff is really just one extended piece. Sure, maybe. I don't know how it was made, but some of you might have just drawn like the as your one piece, and that's fine. Yeah. So why don't you try doing the components for this nice IKEA shelf here? My hint here is if I was drawing this, I think I would be doing this as, well, I'll say 7 pieces, but of those 7, I think 3 are the same, 2 are the same, and 2 are the same. So it's like 3 separate shapes, of which there's 2, 2, and 3. That's how I would do this. That's a component parts diagram, or a component parts drawing. I think I'll pause the recording here too. This is going to get kind of long as it is.